Good afternoon, Monarchs. Dr. Barry Gribb is president of Valley College, joining you for another town hall. We have a few updates for you. Before we get started, while we're talking at any time, type any questions that you have into the chat. And after some updates, we'll do some Q&A. The first update I have for you is related to summer and fall classes. Summer registration is now open. Summer classes start June 14th. Most of the classes will be online, but we do have a few additional in-person classes that are being added. Those will be offered on our campus here. Throughout the pandemic, we've had some in-person classes, but they've been limited to just a few areas like nursing, EMT, respiratory therapy, and manufacturing. So this summer, we're able to add a few more classes that'll be in person. And again, we'll have many more classes that are offered online in the summer. And the summer starts June 14th. Registration's now open. So complete any additional materials that you need to, including application if you're a new student, and check for your registration date. For fall, we're going to add a lot more classes. So for the fall semester, we're going to have about half of our class offerings in person. Actually, a little bit more than half because we want half the seats to be in person, and about half will be online. So we'll have a lot of options for all of our students this fall, both in person, on campus, and online. For the classes that are in person, we're working on implementing a lot of safeguards to ensure that it's done safely. We're going to be completing a lot of sanitization. Our ventilation systems, HVAC systems, are being upgraded to ensure that all of them have MERV 13 or better filters. We're going to be doing a lot of sanitization, and given the current health orders, we'll still be requiring folks to wear masks and physically distance. With the physical distancing, we're going to have small classes. So normally where we might have a cap of 40 or so students for the fall semester, the cap is going to be half of that. So the caps for our in-person classes, most of them will be in the low 20s. So it'll be a nice small class experience for students, and will ensure that people are kept safe. The second update I have for you relates to emergency grants. We do still have emergency grants that are available to students. If you do need some additional support related to COVID-19, if you had something happen in your life that's impacted you and you need some additional support so you can continue your education, please apply for an emergency grant. You can find out more information about the application process by going to our homepage, lavc.edu, and selecting LAVC COVID-19 updates. The very first update that you'll see there is some more information and a step-by-step process for how you can apply for the different types of grants that are available. In addition, I'd like to encourage you to complete the FAFSA and the College Promise Fee Waiver, or the College Promise Fee Waiver application if you haven't already done so. You can complete the FAFSA at any time. We have additional resources that we were able to secure from the federal government that we can make available to students. And for many of those resources, we'll be making those awards based on the information that we have on the FAFSA or the College Promise Fee Waiver for students that aren't eligible for the FAFSA. So please take some time and complete one of those two applications. That way we can get some additional resources out to you from the federal government that we were able to get. With that, let me check to see if we have any questions in the chat. There's a question from Scotty. Are free tablets or laptops still available? Yes, we still do have Surface Go devices that are available to students for free. You can find out more information in the same place that I mentioned for the emergency grants. Go to lavc.edu and select LAVC COVID-19 updates. They'll have more information about how to apply for the Chromebooks or Surface Go devices right there. Susan asked specifically about an astronomy course being offered for the summer and fall. Susan, the schedule for the summer schedule is currently available online, so you can look up the individual classes on our homepage. For the fall schedule, it will be available in about a month. So check back in about a month, about mid-May, and you'll be able to see if there's what classes are available at that time, both in person and online. There's a question from Bishop about after graduation, when will we get our diploma? It usually takes a little bit of time, usually takes a few months for the spring semester grades to be processed. Of course, we have to wait till the spring semester is over. Graduation's in early June, but once the spring semester is over, the grades are posted and our admissions and records staff will be going through and completing the graduation checks so that the awards can be made, and then the diplomas will be mailed usually in early fall. There's a question about vaccines being mandatory before returning to campus. No, currently there is no mandate to get a vaccine before returning to campus. That could, of course, change by the state or the LA County Department of Public Health, but currently neither has a requirement for vaccination. That said, I would strongly encourage folks to take a look at the town hall that we did about a month or so ago. We had a terrific doctor from UCLA provide some information about the vaccine. Personally, I have been fully vaccinated now. I'm hoping that other folks do as well, so we can achieve herd immunity, beat COVID-19, and have a return to normal. But if you need some additional information, check out the YouTube town hall that we had with the doctor from UCLA. There's another question from Mark about graduation. Is there a chance that graduation will be in person and not online? Mark, we are planning for graduation to be virtual this year. Similarly to last year, we're doing our best to make it a celebration, as all of our graduates certainly deserve. We've been securing a graduation pack for them. Currently, it doesn't look like we can do an in-person graduation, so we are moving forward with the virtual recognition ceremony, the virtual ceremony. It's going to be a lot of fun, though, and please tune in. There's a question about when I say half the classes will be offered for the fall semester online and half in person. Does that mean that each class will be offered both online and in person? Many classes, especially common classes, will be offered both online and in person, but for some classes, they may only be offered in one format, not the other. For classes that are common, that we offer a lot of sections, we should be able to offer in both modalities. There's a question from CV, since we are going to be offering smaller class sizes with social distancing, will there be more classes available? And yes, that is exactly the case. We're going to ensure that we offer enough class sections so that we still can serve the same number of students that we were able to before the pandemic. Since we have to offer classes at a 50% capacity, we're offering them much smaller. We're going to be increasing the number of classes that are being offered. There's a question from Joseph. Will there be any classes open during the summer semester? Yes, there are a lot of classes that are currently open for the summer semester. Most of those are online, but we do have some in-person classes for the summer as well. Victoria posted a really specific question, and Victoria, your question is really specific and we need to look up your individual account, so please contact our student services folks and they'll be able to look up the details. Let me check to see, look for some additional questions. And Victoria, if a teacher, and everyone, if a teacher isn't responding to your emails after a couple of days, you can always contact the dean over that area. And if you're not sure who the dean is, call the college's general line. We do have our staff answering the phones, and they can help direct you to somebody who can help get your questions answered. Scotty asked a question, are the tennis courts or track available for students? I'm glad that you asked that question, Scotty. The courts and the track aren't open generally to the general public. That said, we were able to bring back a lot of our student athletes recently for conditioning. So we have all sports that are now returning to in-person conditioning. And we're working on finalizing plans to have our student athletes come back for full practice in the next couple of weeks. There is even a possibility that some of the spring sports will be able to have some competition this semester. So those plans are being worked on right now, but we do have our student athletes back on campus for conditioning. The facilities at this time, though, are limited to the student athletes. We are working on other plans to open up the facilities to other folks, so other folks can enjoy them as well. Lisandro asked the question, will the cap limit be just for the in-person classes in the fall semester? Yes, the small class sizes will be for the in-person classes. The online classes will remain at the original capacity. Misty asked the question, is there a plan for the nursing program? Will it still be hybrid or will it be going all on campus? We don't have the details about the nursing program yet. Of course, the nursing program is going to continue, and it's been one of the programs that's been operating in a hybrid modality. Some of the classes have been offered virtually, but all the skills labs and clinical has been in person. For the fall semester, they're still working on their plans, and over the next few weeks, we should have additional details about that. And let me see if there's some additional questions. So question that was answered here on the library. Thank you for the staff for providing that additional information. There's a question, if we do a virtual graduation this year, is there a possibility that next year we can come back for graduation on stage? If you are interested in that, please do send us a note and we'll assess how much of an interest there is in folks coming back for an in-person ceremony for the folks who are graduating this year. And we can, if there's enough interest, we can pursue that as well. Vicki, you indicated that you haven't heard back about a laptop that you applied for at the beginning of the semester. You should have by now, so there could be an issue with the application. Please contact our student services folks or our financial aid folks, and they can look into the specifics of your application and make sure that you get what you need. We do still have, as I mentioned at the beginning of the update, we still have plenty of devices, so that's not a limiting factor. Please contact the student services folks so we can find out specifically where your application is and process it. Liliana asked when we're planning on doing in-person classes again. We will have some additional in-person classes for the summer, but for the fall semester, we'll have half of the offerings in person and half online. The number of classes in person will actually be higher because they're going to be at a smaller capacity, but we'll have a lot of options for students, both in person, on campus, as well as online. Maria asked if math classes will still be available online. And I do believe it's the intention of the math department to offer at least some of the classes online this fall, in addition to having some in-person opportunities. There's a question from Isela about honor students going to receive any recognition during the graduation? And will there be a special sash? I'm going to have staff provide some additional information about the graduation pack that's going out. In terms of a recognition, there are some honors awards that we are able to recognize during the ceremony, during the virtual ceremony. A great question from Carolyn. Will I be able to take all my classes on campus in the fall semester, or will there be a campus credit limit? There will not be a limit on the number of classes that someone can take on campus. A student will be able to take their entire load on campus. Of course, that's subject to class availability. So when the registration opens up, please register as soon as your appointment allows you to ensure that you get the first choice of the classes and the modality that you're interested in. Sue, and there's a question from Sue specific to a physics class and the instructor subscription for Pivot Interactives Labs. Sue, we'll make note of this and we'll see if we can get some more information about the lab subscription and get it activated for you. And there are another couple more questions. Susan, you had a question specific for your related to your GPA, so I'll have staff provide some additional feedback in the chat section for the criteria for summa cum laude. Question from Carolyn about when the fall 2021 class schedule is coming out. The fall schedule is expected to come out in about a month, so in mid-May. We want to make sure that we add all the possible in-person classes that we can, and we're working hard on that right now. Our faculty and administrators are working hard on that right now. We expect to have that done by mid-May and then release it to everybody. And I don't see any additional questions. I want to thank everybody for their hard work. I know it's been a challenge going to school in this environment. I know that the faculty and staff remain as dedicated as ever to supporting you as best we can. Please continue to let us know what we can do to help support you even more. I look forward to the graduation celebration in just another less than 2 months away. And I hope you all continue to stay safe and be well. Thank you, everybody.